Welcome back to A History of the Navy in 100 Objects. In today's Navy, communication is done by radio, email, internet, and advanced computer systems on board our ships and aircraft. Today, we're going back in time to the early days of the Navy of John Paul Jones, when communication was equally as important, but done in a much different way. We are joined by Mr. Jim Cheevers, the former curator at the Naval Academy Museum.
And today we're taking a look at wax seals, which were used to privatize letters in the old days. When you folded your letter, your completed letter, you used either a seal on a stick or on your watch fob. Sometimes you had a ring that had your coat of arms on it. And this was applied to, in modern times, beeswax. The custom goes back to Roman days, where they used a substance different from the beeswax. And then in the 17th, 18th century, they started adding vermilion to it. So most seals for several hundred years were red that were applied to the letters. In the mid-19th century, they went and added colors, color choice blues and gold and red and other colors to the seals. Among the famous naval officers had seals. The one here in the case belonged to John Dahlgren, famous inventor of naval ordnance that helped the Union win the Civil War. We also have another nearby that belonged to Admiral David Glasgow Farragut. It contains an image of his stepfather, David Porter. And then there were the seals of John Paul Jones, and he used several, and of course Jones's seal was designed in the days when heraldry was very much in and pursued by gentlemen, people born into high station. And they had family coat of arms. Of course, it's unusual for Jones because he was born to a poor gardener on an estate, and his mother was a domestic in a house. So, you know, in English society, he wouldn't have rated his seal, but he had his own seal designed, we know, in 1777, and whoever did that for him knew the book of heraldry, because they used the stag to represent Jones, which interestingly enough also represented the Paul family into which he had been born. You know, he added Jones to his name in about 1773. Also, he had a motto on the several different seals he used: Pro Republica. He was for republics, not for monarchies. And so his coat of arms today, there is a wonderful watercolor of it in the Grand Masonic Lodge up in Boston, Massachusetts. But here in the Naval Academy Museum, we have several letters that he wrote that still have his wax seal intact in his letters.
While we have moved past the days of wax seals on handwritten correspondence, these items are reminders of the importance and development of communication in the U.S. Navy. We hope to see you soon at the U.S. Naval Academy Museum to learn more. Thank you for joining us for this episode of A History of the Navy in 100 Objects.